Hello everyone, it's Player here, and today I'm going to talk about the B10, and this is all in theory because I believe that nobody at the moment is able to do the full auto runs on the B10, and it has been a couple of days when I was able to beat it restart, and this is not a team I used, by the way, it's my B9 team, but yeah, the team that I used and I think most of the people use, which are free to play or almost free to play, is Igniter, Gaboom, and then one tank unit. And I believe that my first 3-star run was with a chill, and then I was able to do it with a whirlwind. And I'm not sure whether or not I did it with the Wham Shell, but those are the 3 units that can work here. And out of those 3, in my opinion, the whirlwind was the best, and mine was actually Awaken. I know that many people talk about it that don't awaken it because you don't want the extra hits on the boss to trigger the boss 10 counter mega hit. So mine was Awaken and it still worked. So that's not an issue. Of course, it's maybe better to keep it unawakened, but keep in mind that you will lose some base stats if you keep it unawakened. But yeah, so how can we actually do this B10 as autorun? Well, in my theory, we need to build the igniter on crit damage, crit rate. If you can build it with slot 2 attack and slot 6 critical damage with enough critical rate, that would be huge and awesome. And why? Because on outrun the AI will surely use the wrong skills and use the support unit skills and stuff like that, and it won't do as much damage as you play manually, because it will just cast the wrong spells. It will probably not use the second skill to create defense break and stuff like that, and your damage will be much more lower as a manual run. So that is my trick that I'm trying to build when I have the runes, to basically fool the autoruns that the AI will do more damage than my manual run when I'm running a critical build on the igniter, and it can actually do an insane damage. I believe I have seen some videos and stuff that the igniter hits like a 40,000 on the boss, or 15,000, something like that. And keep in mind, the passive can create an extra hit. So with critical build, I believe you can strike about 20,000 on one hit if you are lucky. But at the moment, it's really hard to be able to build the critical build at least with slot 2 attack rune, because we don't have such insane runes to create the critical rate, and that's a little issue. But I'm actually planning on maybe playing the other dungeon on 9 level, because that dungeon drops the critical rate rune sets, so that might be an okay idea. But then on the other issue, the boss hits like a truck, and I mean like a truck. Even when you are running some decent runes on your units with basically 6-star almost everything max, so, it will still hit you like 7 to 8,000, and it many times just one shot your Gaboom or your igniter and stuff like that. So it's like an insane truck, and that in my mind is the major issue on autoruns. How can we survive the boss hits or even the wave hits? The middle boss on each waves hits like 7,000 or something like that, and if the AI is stupid enough, it will allow the waves to hit you, and you will also derp on the waves. So how the hell we can survive waves and the boss when they are dealing this much damage? Well, I believe there are 2 things. First of all, I'm pretty sure that at least for now, if there are no updates or anything that change the game, I think we need the gear shift as leader, because when you awaken the gear shift, it will actually give you wide range damage down and shield if it evades, and it has the leader skill that increases the evasion. So if you use this as your Wham Shell or whatever you want to play as a tank unit, and then use the Kaboom and Igniter, I believe that it will allow your team to survive better. There are many AoE hits, and the boss AoE is really strong, so I believe the passive that Gear Shift brings is amazing on the B10. The skill 1 is okay, it costs only 1 mana. The skill 2 is not that great, but critical down actually helps you in the boss stage, so I'm pretty sure that this is the unit you want to build on the auto team. There might be other options. I'm not going to say they won't work because I'm not sure. I just don't have enough data about that. And I haven't tested my 3-rex in there because it still lacks some runes. But this is a negative element, so I think the 3-rex will just die instantly on the boss. But yeah, the gear shift is the one that I believe that will do it. And the other thing is that I'm not sure if the Kaboom is actually the right unit or even the Igniter, because if we would run 4 or 5-star units on the B10, those have higher base stats and therefore they should be more resistant on the attacks. They should be able to take one hit without dying, even without insane runes. So that might be the thing also, but not many of us have any 5-star units as an Awaken and level 17, so that's a little issue. But I believe that we are about to hit the stage where we are able to build some Nat 4s on the max level and Awaken, so that might be the key. And there are many damage dealer that we can consider, and I know many have already talked about them, but yeah, the one is the Firefox or whatever, Flarewolf. This guy, it looks amazing. It should be able to replace Kaboom even, and because this is not 4, it should have a lot better stats than Kaboom. And because Kaboom is actually, it is great on the waves and it's also great on the boss, but if the autoplay AI uses the skill 2, which is the bomb AoE, that's not so great on the boss. It should only use the charge skill and only use it after the defense break from Igniter, and the autoplay won't do that. It's stupid. It won't do that right. So maybe the Flarewolf could replace the Kaboom. And also, I don't know how great block rate would be in the boss. That should be tested before I can say anything about that. But it seems to me that it crit rates a lot, and the critical hits are the bad ones. When it doesn't crit, it doesn't do actually that much damage. It does like 2,000 to 3,000 or something like that. So that hit you can sustain, but the critical strike you can't. So maybe even some kind of block rate thing could work. I'm not sure. But then there is a Ninjini. This one is really, really interesting looking. And I believe I saw some picture on Reddit. Someone was able to do it with the Ninjini and something like Spitfire. I believe it was Make It a Bot who was able to do that, but I'm sure he has spent some dollars on the game. So yeah, I'm not sure how important Ninjini was in that team. But yeah, this is something that seems to me to be interesting, and at the moment I'm trying to build Ninjini. And then there are some other fire units. Not sure about Wildfire, what could it bring on the table there, I'm not sure. Block rate, if we want to do something like a full fire team and just try to block the critical strikes and stuff like that, but I'm not sure that that will work. But then this one, smolder dash, this might also work, because it actually brings you an accuracy leader. If you are not using the gear shift, this might be a good option on full YOLO team maybe, because you need to land the defense break with Igniter if you want to be able to kill the boss. That's so important. And also the kit is not that bad. This guy also brings defense down, even on the waves as AoE. It's great. And basic explode hit as every 5 units basically has. So I believe that these things in some mixture is the way to do it. And you probably need net force, at least a gear shift or some other better tank unit, because the tank unit, it derps a lot. If you fail something and something goes wrong, it just dies, even with insane stats. So that's a really hard thing to be able to do as an autoplay. And also Spyro might be considered. I'm not sure how well this would work. And was it Tectone or somebody else who talked about the blind that this guy brings? Well, I'm 250 shots away from awakening. So the blind, what does it actually do? I have to say that I'm not even sure if I have read it. Well, I believe it's something like it will miss something or glance something or something like that. So if it creates glancing, well, that's an insane thing on the boss. For 2 turns, 6 mana. Well, the 6 mana will be a problem. Yeah, it goes down to 5. Yeah, maybe this one. But yeah, that's about it. That's my theory. So critical strike build either on Igniter or something like Flare Full or something like that. But something that hits 20,000 or almost that, trick the AI not fail on auto run, because the 10 hits landed on the boss will cause the boss passive thing trigger, and you will almost every time die. So you want to kill the boss with less than 10 hits, and because of that we need something that can basically fool the autoplay AI to deal more damage than you manually would do. So critical strike build Igniter feels like a champion on that slot, and maybe upgrade the Kaboom with some nat 4 and then use the gear shift as leader. And once I'm able to test that team out, I will surely test it and show how it works. But at the moment, I don't know any better plan. Maybe we have to wait for an update that will a little bit nerf the power of B10, or maybe it's meant to be really hard. I'm not sure, but let's see about that, how the commenters feels about it. But if you have a better option, or if I'm completely wrong in your opinion, please leave a comment and let's talk about it together, that what is the right way to do the B10 auto. So thanks for watching and bye.